All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. There are some speculations that he said it incorrectly on purpose. Okay, Drewski, when you go up there to announce the winner, make sure you say his name wrong and disrespect him. This clip will go crazy on social media. That was hilarious, except, Barry Sanders was pissed. I hope they let him know that was going to happen, but it didn't seem like it. This one says 100% on purpose. This person says, yes, if he knows JSN, he knew what he was doing. Okay. All I know, I don't know if it was on purpose, and I don't know if it was accidental. All I know is it's incredible. I don't care if this is done on purpose. It's okay to be done on purpose because of the ethnicity of the presenters. It's not okay.
The winner decided not to pull up tonight.
If it's white dudes.
I guess on his behalf, Jackson Smith Najigba. Najiba. Njigba. JSN.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that this was set up or that was on purpose or he just accidentally said it incorrectly? Bread Bull Brain Chris says the way Barry looks up, though. I think Barry, he couldn't have been in on it. I don't know. I don't know that he would be. He played for OSU. Joe Martinez is here, and he he just shows up, and he puts like 7 middle fingers up. What the hell? Becca Shea says, "Oh my God." Alan says no with laughs. Joe Martinez says he played for OSU. Tophus says fucking no. Stevie says that's wild. Tophus says I think he screwed up. I think it's hysterical either way. And if that's what they shot for, then, well, whatever. It only works because he's a black guy. And now I don't want to hear any of this. Yeah, how come he can say it? And well, we've covered that. Becca Shea put us on the straight and narrow, and she said when black people say it when they say it, it is a term of endearment. And when white people say it, it's a slur. That's all we need to know. And I'm like, it's okay with me. I'm not going to say it. I never would. I wouldn't dream of it. God, that was great. Joe Martinez is here. Like I said, that's good. Now, what's interesting about Joe is before he would just come in here and just type out whatever he's going to type out. And then I changed it so that only subscribers could comment. But you can comment if you're not a subscriber. If you redeem those whatever points they are. Like it costs you 350 points, which you accumulate from watching. He probably has millions from watching the show. And that's saying something that he's managed to figure it out today because it was apparently a little bit out of his technical wheelhouse the last time he tried it. And he said, I can't do it. It's very difficult. So I'm just going to text you my insults. And now it appears he's gotten it. So that's good. He's figured it out. And that's a win, I guess. Joe Martinez is, he informed me that he no longer needs my services. All right. That he will not market on this podcast anymore. He says he only wants to market with entities that, say controversial things that make it so that the consumers want to kick his ass. And I said, wait, what? And he goes, yeah, that's where I'm putting all my money into another entity to advertise, even though it was because of you, Eric Zane, that I built my show. There was times when Joe Martinez said to me, quote, I owe you so much for helping me build my business to where it is. All right. And I've always taken that with a point of pride. But I knew the end was near when he started to advertise in other corporate settings. I knew that eventually this would dry up because whoever the fuck would sink his claws into him. And so now he is now thinks that they are the darling. I don't even want to say who it is. And I know that Joe, whoever he is advertising with, has kind of fucking stabbed him in the back. And that hurt him. That hurt him. But I said to him, I go, you know what wouldn't have happened to you, Joe, if you had continued advertising on the Eric Zane Show podcast? You wouldn't have to deal with what you're dealing with now. You know? You wouldn't have had to do that. But all right. You spend your money wherever you want. If you feel like you want the name A&E Heating and Cooling to be sullied all across the landscape, I mean, that's up to you. I can't make you, I can only do so much. All I do here every single day, every day, is I am the picture of consistency. Funny, bright, brilliant, and always rolling out the red carpet for my amazing sponsors. But if they ever decide that, hey, we don't need him anymore, all I do is I turn the other cheek and I go, I love you still. I love you still. And that's what I do. I am built that way. I am just built of better stuff than everybody on the planet. We all know this. Joe writes lots of emojis, and he says, you want to talk about it? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And then he says, let's have this conversation. And then he says, this is way too funny. You have people who go to Farm and Fleet. I don't know what that means. What are you talking about? Man Bun Chris says, it's like the role of the radio coach. You want them to be successful, but not crazy successful, LOL. Good to see you around the chat, Joe. I hope you're well. Joe is making great strides in his recovery from cancer, by the way. Bread Bull Brain Chris says, I cannot get my thermostat to connect to my Wi-Fi. Make it work, Joe. You can't call him, Bread Bull Brain Chris. Joe has made it clear that he does not want to be on the Eric Zane Show podcast. His words. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I guess you have to figure it out on your own because he has abandoned us. I mean, we all need that type of care on our home, but he's said, I don't want your audience members calling me anymore. He might not have said that, but Megan is very much adopting the mama bear role here. She says, don't come talking shit, Joe Martinez, about people who helped you when you were small, friend. That's not cute. She's kicking your ass. Let me go back in time. I will call up the text message between me and Joe. Hey, Joe, January 28th. How you feeling? Is it time to start marketing again? Hey, yo, we're not going to do any. We're pulling back. Meanwhile, everywhere I go, it says the name of his business in big letters. I go to the hockey game, and it's the his business arena. You know, you can't take 2 steps inside of the venue without being inundated with heating and cooling from A&E. The players, it doesn't even say Griffins anymore. It says A&E Heating and Cooling. The players have Joe Martinez's face on his shoulder. Now, I wasn't breaking the bank. I mean, Joe pays a couple grand a quarter for top-notch advertising for the longest time. Helped build his business from the ground up. But he's graduated to bigger and better. He's on TV. Yeah, I got a wood TV appearance to go make, and the hockey team wants me to give them a pep talk. I got to do that. You know, you can have this type of love back, you know, but you have to sign back up. I need an HVAC specialist. Why do you want me to go and have another HVAC specialist? It's horrible. I mean, we had such a good thing going. And now here you go, spending your money with someone else. Money that you wouldn't have had if it hadn't been for me singing your praises. You'd have been a ham and egger driving your old beat-up vehicle. Now you've got a whole fleet of vehicles. You've got hundreds of employees all across the state. You're making money hand over fist. Man Bun Chris says if EZ got another HVAC company, he'd build Joe's next competitor from the ground up. I actually did reach out to a company, and I reached out to them, and I thought I was going to get them because I sent them the media kit. And I'm not 100% sure, but it might have been because they were really interested. I think they might have caught wind of my actual show, and they might have heard me saying poo poo pee pee caca because the trail got ice cold. And I can't confirm that. But sometimes that's what I think. I've actually had people say to me, yeah, hey, I would like to advertise. There was some electrician I talked about this before. I had some electrician who, the story goes, I was walking the dogs and I saw a van in the neighborhood. And I go, I'm going to call that guy. A couple days later, get him on the phone, introduce myself, tell him what's up. I asked permission. Can I send you a media kit? Yeah. I send him the media kit. He goes, that sounds great. I'm very interested in this. Let me talk to my partner. A couple days pass. Hey, we listen to your show. We're a Christian company. We can't be on the air, you promoting us, when you're telling people to fuck off. I just said, okay. Now, what I wanted to say was, like, idiot, you're buying an audience. All right? You're buying an audience. You're not buying the content. All right? No, I didn't. I just said, yeah, no problem. No problem. That's how I roll. When people say they don't want me, when I'm cast aside, either by Joe Blow, who's never spent a dime with me, or Juan Blow, who I've helped build from the ground up to become a juggernaut in the HVAC industry, and then I'm cast aside needlessly like that, I always just go, yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. Cole says, we're a Christian company. Go fuck yourself. Tophus says Christians love to be hypocrites. Tell them to stop touching little boys behind the altar. Now, look, I can't go that far. Christians don't. You can't say Christians go touch people. I mean, everybody has. There have been a lot of people in the news over the years who have done horrible things. And you can't say it's just one group. That's, come on now. Man Bun Chris is here. He says, we were good on board, but then you said something about the neighborhood kids being baited into the pool. All right. Tophus says, all right, fine, Catholics. Now, you can't lump all Catholics into that, you idiot. I'm a Catholic. I mean, I'm not practicing, but I will always be a Catholic, you asshole. God. Okay, there was an awesome fight last night in I think this is the last game before the Olympic break. Whenever Florida and Tampa get together, there's always fisticuffs. Let's get into this one. You're going to notice the color commentator, when they started fighting, saying, oh, no, here comes the nonsense. This is not nonsense. This is what we live for.
Vasilevsky heads to his bench. The extra attacker is on. It will be a power play, and now on the near side, Kachuk has words for Kucherov as well.
Now here comes the nonsense. This is all on Kachuk here.
Kachuk and Hagel.
This has been before, and Hagel's got the jump on him, and he's feeding him pretty good. Here comes Kachuk back.
Forsling and Moser. They're throwing punches as well, but the gloves stay on.
And then this...
Boat A is Hagel and Kachuk.
And now Forsling and Moser, and now it's officially a fight. And Forsling has Moser down, and they have to be seperated.
There's going to be a whole lot of game misconduct.
The actual ref getting involved. That's normally the linesman will do that. This guy's telling the bench, let's go.
He's trying to separate Moser and Forsling. Hagel's trying to wave the crowd up. But this all started way behind the play when Mikkola knocked over Kucherov. Then Kachuk came from the backside and knocked over Kucherov again.
I think this guy, Kachuk, him and his brother are playing for the Americans. That tournament in the Olympics is going to be awesome.
And started giving it to Kachuk.
Well, Dave Jackson, obviously,
by the way,
probably seems to the officials
A&E
like
Heating and Cooling had a sign on the side of the rink there at Florida and Tampa. They're everywhere now. They're spending millions of dollars in hockey. But I'm cast out. Poor EZ. Left to pick up the scraps. All I'm doing is trying to keep my dogs alive and keep a little food on the table. And I'm getting thrown out. And Joe is now marketing with people that are making him look bad. That's what's happening. From what I'm understanding, Joe Martinez has signed an agreement with people that are trying to make him look bad. Oh, my God. Rebecca says, I hate the Kachuk brothers. I am so excited to watch those two terrorize other countries. I am too. I'm going to love the Kachuk brothers. I love them now because of the way they play the game. Nick is here. He said he heard A&E Heating and Cooling on Rogan the other day. Yeah, I heard that too. A&E Heating and Cooling is on Rogan. A&E is sponsoring Trump and the area hockey team. Cole says A&E Heating and Cooling is on Free Beer and Hot Wings. I was the first. I led him to new heights, to the promised land. With customers, the base of this show, the backbone of this show, they all called Joe. He showed up in his little van, and he would tune up their furnaces, and he would install his Remy air purifiers. It was all so great. We had such a great time. He was working with Comfort Maker. Remember that? Comfort Maker was co-opt and helping him pay for the marketing. It was so great. And then, he got a little taste of the big time now. Bread Bowl Brain Chris says that A&E patches are, you're no longer going to get the magnets anymore sent to you. You're going to get A&E Heating and Cooling patches are now on ICE uniforms. The desk in the Oval Office has Joe's logo on it. The Turning Point USA halftime show with Kid Rock and a bunch of white people, the white only show, is brought to you by Joe Martinez. Joe Martinez is bringing you all of this. Tophus says he painted all his vans black so they can be unmarked ICE vans. Nick says he just heard that Joe Martinez is doing the White House ballroom heating and cooling. All I wanted was to tell everybody to go and get their furnaces tuned up in the winter and their ACs tuned up in the fall. And if they ever need, they always had a guy who would help them after hours. Now, no more. I was told no. It makes me sad, I built my show. We worked together to build our businesses. He helped build mine, and I did a lot more for him than he did for me. The first time I interacted with Joe Martinez, he was working for the man at Penning Plumbing. And he helped install my $50,000 heating and cooling setup here in the house. All right. He installed the boiler. He installed the heated flooring, all the piping. It's incredible the work he did. The cat shit in the basement, and he almost barfed, cleared out the room. It was awful. Then Joe opens up that business, and he calls me, and he says, I need your help. I said, what is it, Joe? He goes, I have no customers. They all hate me because I'm a Mexican, and there's only white people here. I said, okay, how can I help you? He goes, I want you to slowly but surely build me a customer base. I said, I'll do that, Joe. He goes, how much does it cost? I said, I'll charge you the same I charge everybody. Next thing you know, he's moved to the richest neighborhood. He lives in East Grand Rapids in a mansion. He's got a bunch of white people that are his maids. He's got a whole fleet of vehicles. He doesn't even work anymore. He's filthy fucking rich. And now he spends his money with some local hockey team, which I guess pissed him off the other day somehow. I don't know what happened. Joe was just telling me he was getting a lot of phone calls. And customers saying, I'm never going to you again because of you love the Turning Point halftime show. And Joe's like, I'm Joe Martinez. I'm A&E Heating and Cooling. I don't need you. So I'm out. That's the way it is. So you can see Joe Martinez on stage with Nicki Minaj. Joe Martinez says, you called me when you were at the ball. Donut Dan says, I don't think he sponsors the Lions or MSU. Probably not. Megan's got a comment for Joe. Nick is here. He says he went big HVAC. He is big HVAC. Black Belt Nick says, I see that Joe Martinez sponsored the new Melania movie. I'll say this, totally different topic. Melania Trump, honest to God, might be the most attractive woman on the planet. She is looking better and better. She is so beautiful. My God, is she beautiful. Joe doubled down and said, I am sponsoring the Turning Point halftime show. Becca Shea says that she's gross. Tofis says, meh, not really. Yeah, but you guys are looking at it from a political point of view. I'm looking at it, but just from pure feminine beauty. She is striking. She's insanely pretty. All right. Well, Joe, I'll tell you this. Since I am just trying to make ends meet around here and just trying to keep the lights on and hopefully keep my dogs alive, if you want to come back on the show, you know I will welcome you back with open arms. You know? But I think what you should do in order to turn this around, you should wipe out all your spending on any of the 8 million things that you're spending money on, TV, hockey games, and give it to me. That's what you need to do. He says, I'm retiring. Well, somebody's going to be running the business, you idiot. You're not just going to dry up and not have a business anymore. There's no doubt David is going to be in charge, your son-in-law, you dumbass. You still need customers, dickbag. God damn it. Like when I retire in however long that is, I'm handing it off to someone new. Someone is going to do the Eric Zane Show podcast. All right, I'm gonna franchise it. There's going to be all sorts of different Eric Zane Show podcasts everywhere. But until I get Joe Martinez back on, you are not allowed to call upon A&E Heating and Cooling. We are doing a full-on, you know how like to protest ICE, they're like not going to certain businesses. What you have to do with that being the blueprint is we cannot support Joe Martinez going forward because of him supporting the Turning Point halftime show and for having his logo on ICE uniforms. So that's what we need to do. In fact, if everybody calls Joe Martinez today and just tells him, look, because you're not supporting Eric, we are out. That's what needs to happen. And we'll hurt him in the pocketbook until we're going to hold him hostage, okay, until he agrees to give me his money. All right. I do have a Trump update, and this is weird. I don't know who Aaron Parnas is. He's on TikTok. And no one is talking about this, so I think it's a nothing burger. But this guy makes it seem like Aaron Parnas stumbled upon a page in the Epstein files that contains Katie Johnson's testimony about the time Trump raped her when she was 13 years old. And I don't believe for a second that this guy found this. I believe that this has been known for quite some time, and let's get into it.
We have some very serious Epstein files that I've been able to find over the past several hours that you need to know about, including those that mention the President of the United States, Donald Trump. Let this serve as a trigger warning because these documents are very graphic. The first document is a screen grab for what appears to be an affidavit signed under the penalty of perjury by Tiffany Doe, which is a pseudonym for someone else.
I don't know why in the, if you notice, this guy wrote Katie Johnson's testimony. Isn't she supposed to be a Tiffany Doe? Why are you saying that person's name? Anyway, it reads, I personally witnessed defendant Trump telling the plaintiff that she shouldn't ever say anything if she didn't want to disappear like the 12-year-old female, redacted, and that he was capable of having her whole family killed. Tiffany Doe then went on to say, after leaving the employment of Mr. Epstein in the year 2000, I was personally threatened by Mr. Epstein that I would be killed and my family killed as well if I ever disclosed any of the physical and sexual abuse of minor females that I had personally witnessed by Mr. Epstein or any of his guests. Article 16, I am coming forward to swear to the truthfulness of the physical and sexual abuse that I personally witnessed of minor females at the hands of Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein, including the plaintiff, during the time of my employment from the years 1990 to 2000 for Mr. Epstein. I swear to these facts under penalty of perjury, even though I fully understand that, and I can't read it, and then it says, is now in grave danger. All right, let me continue to play this.
It was signed on June 18th, 2016. And paragraph 14 says, quote, I personally witnessed defendant Trump telling the plaintiff that she shouldn't ever say anything to the truthfulness of the physical and sexual abuse that I personally witnessed of 1990, accompanied by any other allegations from Richard Branson to 13. We also don't know what case this is a part of, so I'm still looking. The second document is an email from Richard 1990 to 2000 from Mr. Epstein. I swear to these facts under the penalty of perjury. Now, this document was not accompanied by any other allegations. We don't have numbers 1 through 13. We also don't know what case this is a part of, so I'm still looking.
Okay, so if that never is found, it's super difficult to make any of that stick, I guess. Maybe that's why.
The second document is an email from Richard Branson to Jeffrey Epstein from September 11th, 2013. The red underline, quote, it was really nice seeing you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it.
The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it?
Underline, quote, it was really nice seeing you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you're in the area, would love to see you as long as you bring your harem.
Okay, so that tells me that him and his whoever that he's referring to, that there was some peeing on people. Isn't that what water sports is? You like go potty on somebody during sex? As long as you bring your harem?
Would love to see you as long as you bring your harem. Finally, this is an image that was found. That's Andrew, formerly known as Prince Andrew. He's crouching on all fours over a young girl. I'm going to continue providing you updates. I'm digging through, gone through tens of thousands. There'll be more documents soon.
Well, if you're Andrew, you're like, yeah, that's fine if you put my pick in there, as long as you include Richard Branson talking about going tinkle on people. Donko says, kind of makes sense. Trump was a Democrat then. I think that's some type of insult. Ben Glaze says, water sports is Eric's favorite type of porn genre. Thank you. Nick says, A&E, we keep your AC ice cold. I get it. Ice cold. Donut Dan says, Joe, are you the new spokesperson for Bud Light and Cracker Barrel? Badger says Joe has learned not to take any financial advice from EZ. Bread Bull Brain Chris says Richard Branson always looked like a creeper to me. Again, you have money, you're a deviant. You can use your fame, your wealth to break down those walls that are around you. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. If I win $1 billion, you're probably going to find out that I had sex with a chimpanzee. I'm not saying that that's what I want. I'm just saying that when you get that type of money, it destroys your brain. The key to staying out of prison and from doing illegal things is to have to not have a lot of money. Bread Bowl Brain Chris talks about he named all of his businesses Virgin. There you go. It makes sense now. Now, I'm guessing along party lines, people who don't like Trump or are Democrats, they believe that he did do that. And Republicans believe that he did not do that. I think it's very difficult the way the playing field is right now to get any information that's actually tangible. If there is anything that is legitimate about Trump, I don't think it'll ever see the light of day. I think that it's important to note that here we are reading material that exists. And just months ago, Trump was quick to say there isn't any. There is no list. There is no information. It doesn't exist, but it absolutely exists. Yeah, if it depends on the day that you get me as to whether I think Trump actually did it or not. After reading that, I feel like he did do that. The Detroit Tigers baseball pitcher Tarek Skubal was one of two of the best him and this Skeens guy are the two best pitchers in the majors. He went to arbitration, and so when that happens, they're determining his worth, and he won his arbitration case. That means that whether the Tigers pay him or anybody else pays him, it's going to cost you $32 million to pay him. And the Tigers offered him $19 million. They have got to keep that fucking guy. Now, they are definitely cheap. $32 million is what he's going to make next year. It is the largest salary ever in the arbitration system paid off. So basically, you're in front of a magistrate. You make the case that, hey, I'm worth this much. And the team has to say, no, he's not worth that much, which that's weird. You got a team that you play for, and they're saying he's not worth that much. By the way, somebody made a great comment underneath the Tarek Skubal post on X, which I'm going to read to you. Most of you, including the media, that are saying good for Tarek Skubal, would call him a crook if he went to college, did well, worked his way up a company, and made $32 million a year as a CEO. That's true. People would be pissed off. Yeah, fat cats, big business. Fuck that. Meanwhile, these high salaries trickle down to all arbitration players, or to all arbitrary players, inevitably increasing the cost to fans. Yeah, but nobody's forcing the fans to go, just like nobody's forcing you to buy the products that the CEO is in charge of. This is how the economy works. It's market value. But that's true, though. You think about it. You hear all the time, oh, yeah, that guy from United Health, you know how much money he made? It's good that he got shot. That's why we love Luigi, you idiots. Donut Dan is here. He says, what are the chances we get anything out of Clinton's testimony? Zero from either side. Yeah, it's fucking terrible, this whole thing. Let's just say all these politicians that were on the island, they're all rapists, including Trump, including Clinton. Dan is here. He also sent a text. I don't want to overstep. Have you done Super Bowl picks? Now, Dan is the guy that a week or so, he made some comment and got ahead of me, and I made fun of him. So that's why he texted it in. Did you make your Super Bowl picks? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You think I can, like, predict the outcome of who gives a shit? This game's going to be the fucking worst. You get some fucking idiot quarterback that nobody knows, Drake May, and then the other guy, some loser journeyman. He sucks too. The only thing I'm interested in is the halftime show. Bad Bunny. Now, Joe Martinez hates the Bad Bunny show. He only loves the Turning Point show, the white-only show. The Turning Point show is brought to you by A&E Heating and Cooling. That's where he's spending his money now instead of with me. I've never heard. The only time I've been exposed to Bad Bunny was when I went to see him at a concert in New Jersey. I was at the Liberty RV Park in Jersey City, which is right on the banks of the Hudson River, right by the Statue of Liberty in the RV. And it was it the new fraud bus or the old fraud bus? I think it was the old bus. And this is the first trip ever. Yeah, it definitely was in the old one. And no kids, but my pal Dave Veldink, who's the whitest guy on the planet. This is probably like 8 years ago. There was a massive car show next to the where the RV park is. And so it's a type of cars that you would see on like Fast and the Furious, that they put the fucking thing on the exhaust pipe to make them sound louder than they are, and they go real fast, but it's like a one-cylinder motor. So there's burnout competitions and there's food trucks, and everybody there is Puerto Rican or Mexican or Honduran or Italian. And Dutch Dave and I are there because he bangs on the door of the fraud bus, and you can hear the music playing from the DJ. He bangs on the door and he goes, "Hey, there's a concert. It's Bad Bunny." I go, "Who the fuck is that?" He goes, "I don't know, but it's free. Let's go see it." I go, "Yeah." We go there, and there's Bad Bunny. Now, he's not anybody then. Nobody gave a fuck about him. So I'm surrounded by a bunch of Latinos and Latinas, and they're looking at us like we're fucking unicorns. And we're like in the Bad Bunny mosh pit. Everybody's dancing. And Dave and I were there for like 2 songs. And then we got the fuck out of there. And I was, I'm glad to be out of there. I don't want to be surrounded by all those Mexicans. And then we left. And then that was it. Fast forward to this Super Bowl, and I hear that some guy named Bad Bunny, and I go, that's that fucking guy. He's doing the Super Bowl. Jesus Christ, what happened? I guess he got famous. Sure enough, here he is. And so now everybody is stoked. He is like the number one artist in the world now. So I'm excited to see if he's going to play the songs that we that we played. Or that he played. I don't know what the fuck they were. I have no idea. There's no way I'd remember them. But yeah, that was my brush with Bad Bunny. So I can't wait to see what this guy does. Now, I heard this guy, I saw a post that he normally sings his songs in Spanish. But I'm okay with that. There's been a lot of news about Bad Bunny lately. Badger says A&E is now the proud new sponsor of Epstein Island. We will keep you warm. All right, Joe ended up leaving, so he's not hearing any more of these jokes. Megan says some people think that he's not American even though he's from Puerto Rico. Weird. I don't know why. I don't know anybody who would do that. That's so strange to me. Who doesn't know that Puerto Rico is part of the United States? It's a U.S. territory. It's like Grayling for Puerto Ricans. You know. Anyway, yeah, you can't just look at somebody because they're living in Puerto Rico and say that they're not American. That's stupid. Nancy Guthrie is still missing. There has been a little bit of an update on this because the guy from TMZ, he was on some talk show and he talked about it. Nancy Guthrie's supposed kidnappers claimed in a ransom note sent to TMZ that Nancy is safe but scared and knows exactly about the demands that are being made for her return. Demanded millions in Bitcoin be turned over to avoid consequential repercussions. Dude said, I will say that the letter begins by saying she is safe but scared, and they go to say she knows exactly what the demand is, said that's the guy, Harvey Levin. He always has sex with that black guy on TMZ. They are through us telling the family exactly what they are demanding, and they are saying that Nancy is aware of it. Yeah, there was kind of like a timeline. They talked about how her Apple Watch is no longer attached to her pacemaker, like talking to the pacemaker, and I don't know what the hell that means. The people who kidnapped said that they are done talking, that there will be, like in the note, they said this is our only communication. And I don't know if they left a way to get the money. Like if you're gonna, let's say you ask for a certain amount of money and I have it. Like if somebody abducts Benny the One-Eyed Wonder Dog and says we need this amount of money and I have the money, I just give the money. You don't want to wait. And I know how that sometimes, well, we don't negotiate. We don't, fuck that shit. It's not your mom. It's her mom. Is there anything more upsetting or sad than seeing Savannah Guthrie with her brother and sister sobbing, for fuck's sake? God damn it. This is brutal. That poor woman. Poor mom. This is awful. Everything about it. And I cannot imagine the anguish that this family is going through right now. Not knowing where the hell mom is. Terrible. Thank you, as always, to King's Room Barbershop. They're the best. 3 locations. Northland Drive, Caledonia. And at 821 36th Street, if you need a haircut, that is where you go. I love King's Room Barbershop because, they've gotten bigger and bigger, and they still, support me. They could spend their money anywhere, but they remember where they came from, and I'm so happy about that. Thank you to King's Room Barbershop, online at kingsroom.net. A haircut will set you back $21. If you are active or retired military, that changes to $18. Thank you to Merchant Automotive, another great business in the community. If you want your your diesel truck fixed, they can do it for you in Zeeland, Michigan at Merchant Automotive. Online at merchant-automotive.com. You can shop there for all your DIY kits to improve the performance of your diesel truck with an Allison transmission. Thank you, Merchant Automotive. Finally today, Kuiper Tree Care is a great place, another great local business that loves to support me, and you hopefully will support them. That's how it works. That's how this works. I bring these local businesses on. I encourage the audience to bang on their door. You keep going back. Thus, they keep supporting me. Okay? It has only happened once where I've created the need for you to bang on the door of local businesses. And then the local business says, fuck you, EZ. It's only happened once, and that was Joe Martinez. Kuiper Tree Care loves the support, and I appreciate you supporting them. That's how this works. KUIPER, treecare.com, 616-828-8225 for Kuiper Tree Care. Your asshole of the day is about to be announced. And for supporting Turning Point USA and the all-white halftime show, it's A&E, Joe Martinez. Oh, my God. Can you believe that? Thank you, as always, for being here, audience members. I appreciate you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. For those of you on Patreon, I will be having the Patreon bonus podcast a little later on. And thank you for being part of that. You can join Patreon and help with the vet bills at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Thank you for keeping Benny in your thoughts and prayers. And I hope to get a good report, and I hope to go see him today as he makes his recovery. No thanks to Nick for not making me feel better by suggesting that he can fix the dog with Tannerite, ivermectin, and gasoline. Talk to you on the Patreon or on Monday right here. Bye-bye.